Come on, we can do better than that. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you. Welcome to the 2025 Dream Realize Housing Event for Region 6. Please rise with me so we can recite our national pledge. Thank you. On the count of three, 1, 2, 3. I pledge myself the flag of Guyana and to be loyal to my country, to be obedient to the laws of Guyana, to love my fellow citizens, and to dedicate my energies towards the happiness and prosperity of Guyana. Thank you very much. Please have your seat. Honorable Minister Colin Crowell, Minister of Housing and Water. Honorable Minister Susan Rodriguez, Minister within the Ministry of Housing and Water. Mr. David Armagan, Regional Chairman, Regional Democratic Council, Region 6. Ms. Denise King-Tudor, Director of Operations and person responsible for carrying out the duties of the Chief Executive Officer of the Central Housing and Planning Authority, senior management of the Central Housing and Planning Authority and the Ministry of Housing and Water, members of the media, and most importantly, you, the beneficiaries of today's activities. Welcome again to the Dream Realize 2025 housing event for Region 6. I don't want to keep you because I know you've been here for some time, so I'd like to invite at this point in time Mr. David Armagan, the Regional Chairman of Region 6, to give the welcome remarks. Please join me in welcoming him. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Permanent Secretary and Master of Ceremonies for today's events. Honorable Minister of Housing and Water, Mr. Colin Crowell, Minister within the Ministry of Housing and Water, Ms. Susan Rodriguez, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning to all of you. First of all, allow me to take this opportunity to extend a warm and cordial welcome to all of you to this significant and important function this morning, to which you're all very excited. In Guyana, our government over the last 5 years, as pledged in our manifesto, will be giving out 50,000 house lots to the Guyanese people, the young Guyanese people. And so today's event is yet another manifestation of that promise that we made in our manifesto. And you can put your last dollar on the bet that before the end of this term in office, we will realize the allocation of 50,000 house lots to the people of Guyana. In our region, we have a lot of young people, and this is what the President has been talking about, ensuring that young people could own their home before they get old. You know, years ago, when you get about 60, 70 years, then you're hustling to own your own home. But today, people in their 20s and their 30s are owning their own homes, which is a very good sign for us here in Guyana. And this is why we have become the envy of the Caribbean, because in no part of the Caribbean has this been happening. And many of the Caribbean leaders are trying to find out what model we are using in Guyana to allocate so many house lots to so many young people within our country. But as you know, our President, His Excellency Dr. Irfaan Ali, was once Minister of Housing and Water. And therefore, This is a sector he has been pushing very heavily because he knows it very well, like all the other sectors that he has been pushing. And so that is why today so many of you will become beneficiaries of this One Guyana initiative that the President is pushing. Today, many of you will perhaps realize your dream, the dream of owning your own home. And one of the other things that we are doing to help you is to ensure that we can negotiate with the bank on your behalf, or for you to be able to negotiate with the bank to ensure that you can get a loan to pay for the land. So it's no longer a question of whether you have money or not. You can be able to access finance through the banking system. And also we have another model whereby we are assisting people with cement and steel when you begin to start the construction of your home. So this morning, I want to take this opportunity on your behalf as Chairman of Region 6 to thank the Minister, to thank the Government of Guyana, and to ensure that all of you today will be happy people at the end of the day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Regional Chairman, Mr. David R. Morgan, for the welcome remarks. I note that the Chairman mentioned that we're pushing the housing sector. As you know, housing is one of the greatest or the biggest investment you'll make in your life, and it's something that you pass on to your family. So the government takes great pride and they pay great attention to this very sector, the housing sector. And you know, as he mentioned also, the commitment by the government for the 50,000 house lots, and it will be accomplished this year. All of that work requires the dedication of staff and also the leaders of the Ministry of Housing and Water. Because you can have a great vision, but you have to have the right people to execute the vision and those plans that are in place. At this point in time, I want to bring to the fore, or to the podium, the Honorable Minister within the Ministry of Housing and Water, Minister Susan Rodriguez, who has been at the forefront of executing the programs for the housing sector in Guyana. So please join me in giving her a warm welcome. Thank you.
Region 6, good morning. All right, we sound nice and bright this morning. Honorable Minister Colin Crowell, Regional Chairman, Mr. David Armagan, our Permanent Secretary, Mr. Kupin, Directors of the Central Housing and Planning Authority, staff of CHPA, GWI, and other agencies, private sector, and of course, the beneficiaries who are invited here today. I'm going to be very short this morning because I know you've been here for a few hours and you've been waiting for a number of years for your allocation. So I don't want to take up too much of your time this morning, but I want to say that I am extremely pleased that the Ministry of Housing and Water has returned to Region 6 to continue to reduce the housing demand in this region. You know that His Excellency the President was here only about 2 weeks ago. I accompanied him on a 2-day outreach to the region. We had several meetings during the day and even in the nights, meeting with constituencies and responding to the needs of the people in this region. And we promised then that we would return on the 25th and on the 26th to make allocations in a new housing area, a few new housing areas that we've developed. And so we've returned today to do just that. On the last occasion we were here with the President, we issued a letter of commitment to the applicants, the pending applicants in this region. I think a number of you may have received that letter. Those of you who came to the outreaches with the president, you may have received that letter, and it's also available at the regional housing office, where we have put in writing our commitment to address every single pending applicant in Region 6 up to December 31, 2024. We have in this region a backlog of about 6,200 pending applications, and we plan to address all of these applications. And you know that you can take our word for it, because over the last 4.5 years, you have seen continuous delivery in the housing sector. And not only in this sector, but in all of the sectors of government. You've seen us in action. You've seen that all of the ministries have been working tremendously hard to deliver on our targets in every sector, whether it's education, healthcare, agriculture, tourism, housing, water. We've been present, and we've been ensuring that we deliver on all of the commitments we made in the sectors. And we've gone beyond that, because I am pleased to announce to you today that we have exceeded 45,000 allocations in the past 4.5 years. And that's not counting in the lots that we've regularized, the lots that we've given for commercial and industrial purposes, for religious institutions. All of that we can add to this total. And you know that we have promised to deliver 50,000 lots in this first term. And the fact that we've already surpassed 45,000 will tell you that beyond the shadow of a doubt, we will achieve our 50,000 target. And we will surpass that. Because with the new instructions that we were given in the housing sector, the instruction is not just to achieve what we promised in our manifesto, but to address the backlog in all of the regions, except for Region 4, because Region 4 has the highest demand, but to address in all of the other regions the backlog up to December 31, 2024. So when we thought we had an almost impossible target of 50,000 lots, we were given a new target or a new objective in the housing sector to address all of the demand. And this is what we want for Guyanese, to provide home ownership. That is a fundamental aspect of our government. We don't want to, like some of the others are saying, to introduce initiatives that subsidizes rent. We want to give people ownership, the power of home ownership, the ability to have an asset that you can unlock financing at any institution. That's the type of freedom we want to give you, not to keep you in a relationship with a landlord and we are subsidizing your rent so you are reliant on the government to make rental payments, but to give you the freedom to build your own home, to set a new standard for your family, to raise the expectations of your children, and to secure a future for them, a future that will be brighter than the future that many of you had. For most people here, this will be the first time, or you may be the first person in your family that will own a piece of land. And so you are going to change the trajectory of your family and of the future generations. Because at our core, all of us want a better future for our children than we had. And as a government, we are fundamentally preoccupied with ensuring that we improve the standard of living of our people and that we deliver on all of the commitments that we have made. Our word is our bond, and we move mountains to ensure that we can deliver on all of the commitments we made to people. It's a form of respect for the people who have elected us to deliver on their behalf, and we ensure that all of our programs are geared towards improving the quality of life of people. And so, outside of the housing sector, this region is on a path to tremendous transformation. Region 6, in the 2015 to 2020 period, bore the brunt of neglect and vindictiveness from the previous administration. But we have changed that. And this region is poised for tremendous economic diversification with a lot of the new initiatives that are underway. The construction of the new bridge that will commence shortly. You have a new stadium that is being built, the new housing area at Palmyra that will see developments in tourism and hospitality. You have your training institute, technical training institute in this region, and so many, many more things that are happening in Region 6 that will bring investment and that will bring transformation to this region. So the people of Region 6 ought to be very, very excited. I know that there was a period of time in our history where the people who live in Region 4 and in Georgetown wanted to migrate to greener pastures or to North America and other places, and the young people in other regions of our country wanted to go to Region 4 because Region 4 was seen as the economic hub and the place where you can find work and access entertainment and so on. But that is changing, and that is because we are deliberately doing that, because we want to bring the same standard of living in all of our regions. So whether it's on the coast or whether it's in the hinterland or in the country, we want to bring the same standard of living. That's why even the program for water treatment, we're ensuring that all of the regions on the coastline have access to clean, treated water. This is all part of ensuring that there is equality and that all of the resources of our country are equitably distributed, meaning that in all of the programs and the policies that we have, that every region benefits in the same way. So I just wanted to leave those thoughts with you this morning so you can understand why we try so hard in the housing sector, why we work so hard in the housing sector, because the benefits are far beyond just receiving a plot of land. But it's a part of ensuring that your life is transformed, that you build generational wealth for your family, that your children can be accustomed to living in a safe and secure home in a neighborhood community, and that they will grow up to have even bigger aspirations than you do. And now is a period of time in our country where young people are so fortunate to have so many opportunities available to them. And so we have to take advantage of all of these opportunities. Women have benefited tremendously also from the housing program. About 20,000 women, single women, have received house lots in the last 4.5 years. That represents a large portion of our total allocations. And over 50% of our house lots went to young people between the ages of 21 and 35. Now imagine owning a home in your 20s. Imagine the opportunities that you will unlock for yourselves and the length of time that you have now in your life to achieve other things and to have higher ambitions and bigger dreams. And as a government, all we want to do is to make it a possibility for you. to create those opportunities and to make it a reality for all the citizens of our country. So thank you very much. I want to congratulate all of you who will receive your house lots today. Many of you who were invited here today were at the outreach with His Excellency, so we're pleased to have invited you to this allocation exercise today. We will try to serve every single person who's here in the new housing area. And I believe we also have lots available still in the Molson Creek area for those who are living under quarantine. We will be able to offer you a house lot as well at the Molson Creek area where we still have lots available. So all the people in this region will receive their house lots. We will be coming back during the course of the next few months to ensure that we follow up on all of the pending applications here. So congratulations to you once again, and God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Come on, put your hands together again for the Honorable Minister. Thank you. As you sit there, perhaps you can glance at the screen just briefly. Most Guyanese do not realize the scale of activities that we have at the Ministry of Housing. That is development of lands so that we can meet the demand that is there for house lots all across the country, not only the coastal region, but all of our regions. And for that, it takes a lot of work. As Minister was mentioning, the development in this country that you're seeing, it's really record-breaking. We have never seen that scale of development in this country ever before. And it's all because of the vision and the drive by the government and by His Excellency to make sure that all Guyanese, the quality of life of all Guyanese improves tremendously. Now, the staff of the Central Housing and Planning Authority and the Ministry, they work extremely hard to make sure that we get to the point where we are able to deliver these house lots. So it includes the projects department, the engineers, the field technicians, all of those who are there that has to go out and create, because remember, this is mostly virgin land that is there. They spend a lot of time to go in there and bulldoze the trees, etc., create drainage, roads, the utilities that are required, etc. On top of that, the administrative end, we have the staff within the conveyance department, the allocation department, many departments, and those people working within the regional housing offices. They all come together to ensure that you, the applicants, all those who have applied, were able to fulfill those needs that you have. So I'd like for you, if you don't mind, please join in giving them a round of applause for the hard work they are doing. Ladies and gentlemen, at the head of the ministry is one minister who is also dedicated, extremely dedicated as both ministers, and he's all across the country, again, to make sure that we fulfill these commitments and go above and beyond what the targets are. So at this point in time, please join with me in welcoming Honorable Minister Colin Crowell, Minister of Housing and Water. Thank you.
Thank you very much, our Permanent Secretary, Mr. Bishram Kupen. Minister Susan Rodriguez, Regional Chairman, Mr. David Armagon, Ms. Denise Tudor, Director of Operations and performing the responsibilities for Chief Executive Officer, various heads of CHPA, staff of CHPA in general who are in your orange jerseys and outfit, members of the media, but the most important persons are you who are here seated under this tent, the beneficiaries, and those who are on the outside trying to come in. The pleasure is ours to join you today here in Region 6. Today is an enjoyable moment for you here in Region 6 in terms of securing your future. We're also today celebrating the birth anniversary of our President, His Excellency, Dr. M.O.H.W. Fanali. And please, he's not here, but I'm sure from the live we can give him a big round of applause recognizing his birthday. And at the same time, in other parts of the country, in other regions, we're also grappling with issues that confronts us in a personal way, and certainly for the entire nation. Once you have a heart and you have a soul, you will be affected by some of the things you may see. I want to start off by reading from, I didn't plan to do this, but somebody pointed out an article to me, and I want to point out some extracts from that article, written Wednesday, April 23rd. So that's this week. The circus at Central Housing and Planning Authority continues, where once again, Guyanese are made the victims. And just a few weeks, and extracting, right, sections. Just a few weeks ago, on April 1st, I wrote a letter titled, PPPC government's housing policy was too ambitious. 15 days later, I stand firmly by that position. What we are witnessing is a glaring lack of policy direction and strategic planning through no fault of the citizen, but rather those in the government. Guyanese must not fall for this web of deception. Provisional letters, and you heard Minister Rodriguez alluded to it, issued now with no clear guarantee of delivery before September 2025, only raises further doubts. What recourse will citizens have after that date if their allocations don't materialize? It is the PPPC who promised 50,000 house lots within 5-year term, and they cannot, and they will not reach the target before the 2025 elections. Finally, and there's another section I'm extracting. Finally, I urge my fellow Guyanese, do not fall for the PPPC's political gimmicks when it comes to the housing sector. That letter was written shamefully by a minister who had responsibility for the housing sector in the last APNU AFC government, Annette Ferguson. And I said had responsibility because they had collapsed the Ministry of Housing and Water and put the housing sector as a department under the communities, Ministry of Communities. So I'm starting you with that framework. That's what was said, right? You just heard Minister Rodriguez highlighted to you some updates where we're at and what has been happening. I want to ask for your patience a few minutes because I'll give you this assurance. She said, our word is our bond. Many times the media ask, you're doing another Dream Realize activities. What new will you see? We are consistent. We don't go to one region and say something differently from what we're saying. And we're live, so you have it as it happened. The information that we provide, the policies and the programs we update you on is consistent. You've just come out 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago from an outreach by His Excellency here, led by His Excellency with other ministers here in Region 6. And you would have been updated throughout the length and breadth of Berbice here of government's plans, programs, visions, and accomplishments. So once you understand that context, you'll realize that there are some people who should never raise their heads again to speak about governance, or more so if you had responsibility for housing, to speak on housing. Today, we are starting our over the next 2 days, there are 1,500 house lots minimum that will be allocated in the new areas here in Berbice that sees us starting today at 45,800 allocations. Region 6 to date, I'm giving you the statistics so you'll understand the context. Region 6 to date, in this PPP tenure, this 4.5 years, we have allocated 4,545 lots here in Region 6. Take that into context, that while we're allocating, we have every day our offices are filled with new applicants. Region 6, in 4.5 years, 3,993 new applicants have applied in this PPP tenure. That therefore tells you, if we have already allocated 4,500. We're doing another 1,600. And I'm starting today with our pending applicants to about approximately for Region 6, or just over 6,000 pending applicants. We have given you letters, we have started to give you letters, one letter that is, that outlines and commit. So it's a letter that is coming from the government of Guyana that commits that all pending applicants here in Region 6 that has a pending application from December 31st, 2024 and prior will be addressed in this year, 2025. I therefore want to say to the others on the outside, we're only starting another round today. More lands are continually being allocated for this new area. It's 1,500 we're making available. And by the end of May, we will be back right here to allocate another set of lots for the new area in Overwinning. And as I speak, as Minister Susan reminded you, we also have started, as part of the 3,000 plus allocations we did, the Molson Creek area, and then recently we had the new Hawk-style area. So you'll understand, therefore, that we have committed and we are responding. So there's no need to get anxiety. There's no need to worry, because we will work every day for all 10 regions to address housing matters. And so similarly, here in Region 6, in all of that, we have invested for the infrastructure. So already the areas that I'm speaking about, the letter you'll be getting today, you'll get another letter. The letter that you're getting today commits to you, when you're allocated, commits to you that the infrastructure work will be done in this year, 2025, for the area you're getting. The investment costs we have invested to date for the areas of 75, 76, Palmyra, near here, we have already allotted the infrastructure works for the Molson Creek area, as well as for the Hawk-style area. $16.3 billion for forest phase infrastructure to ensure that everyone access their lands that have already been allocated to date. So we must not take idly when we speak about allocations. To do this requires two things. The land, to find the land, it's the very Guyana that was here is the very Guyana that was here. And the lands are all here. So the AP and UAFC government had these lands to allocate too. They had it at their disposal. What did they do? How much did they invest in Region 6 in housing? You will want to ask yourself. So I was going back to get some research, to do some research and some statistics, to be able to do a comparison, because when people want to shoot from their hips and think that they can write behind a keyboard and feel that after 4.5 years, the people of Guyana will forget, we must ensure that they are reminded. In Region 6, in the AP and UAFC government, they invested in no new development structure for housing. They allocated here 1,100 lots in Region 6. Today, over these 2 days, we will be doing 1,500. So what we're doing in these 2 days, we're clearing that what they did in 5 years. And that is part of a total of 7,534 lots that they had allocated. You may ask yourself here today that your business would come in to now, to go put your hand in the envelope, collect your lot, and go. And that's what probably be going through your minds. But you also must understand, too, that you have a government that is people-centered and is committed to ensuring that we make the lives of all its citizens better. I just want to quickly then, because we've been updating you, we've been saying throughout every one of our activity, so we just need to go back to some of those tapes. But I just quickly want to update you some other things for Region 6 and in general. So for today, over the next 2 days, the 10th on my left, you see it marked conveyance. There are 173 persons that were called for titles that is available to be uplifted. And the titling and transport to ensure people have ownership is also an aggressive program we're working on, because equally important with your allocations is the infrastructure and then the final ownership. So to date, we have processed over 18,000 certificates of titles. In Region 6 alone, we have processed just under 1,000 titles here for Region number 6. And so for plantations, Mount Sinai, Ordnance Fortlands, Block 5 Anchorville, Bloomfield, Hampshire, Williamsburg, Glasgow, those are the areas where we're issuing the titles for you today. What that does, it give you legal ownership and security. And you've been hearing our president and the others speaking about generation, wealth, and stability, because when you have a title, then what does it allow you to do? It is passed on to the next generation, and therefore it allows long-term planning and investment and economic stability. What we want you to do in the meanwhile is maximize the presence of the bank, and I also want to recognize Guyana Water Inc. booth that is here too. So engage the banks and the insurance companies so you can get your information when you're allocated. So don't wait until you're able to access your land, then you're now hurrying to go acquire the necessary information to know how much you can invest in borrowing, etc. Do this early. We have over to be issued, we're expecting to also issue another 20 vouchers for the Steel and Cement Initiative, another program that is geared towards helping with home ownership. We have invested over, to date for Region 6, we have invested over $46 million in this program. And tomorrow we have another $5 million investment on this program. Again, all in the housing sector. Quickly, in terms of some of the outstanding matters you have, because we have a query section, is that you have a number of areas that have not been regularized, or we're working on ownership. So you have, for example, Belvedere North. We're working on ensuring that we are able to regularize and put that into ownership. We have addressed Mount Sinai, we have addressed Albion, Sand Reef, we have addressed Hampshire, but we also have pockets of other areas that we're working to ensure that we are able to do this as quickly as possible. You therefore have the opportunity now for this younger generation, as has been said, when in our period, when we become adults and we aspire to go on our own, and we aspire to do our own planning, when you talk about owning your own home, you used to say, wow, I gotta wait until I reach 40-something or 50-something to get my own house. That's no longer a gaffe. The reality is, therefore, as to what we're doing, in your 20s, you will be able to be allocated your land as well as to be able to have your own home, therefore allowing you to start your future early, therefore allowing you, your family, to have that secure environment to operate and to also to help in the social fabric that we're ensuring that we have a family unit in a community. I want to also quickly make mention of some comments that I've been seeing. And I always use this forum to speak about them because you have listeners, you have media. So very often after the activity, we'll have somebody turn up at the office and they will say to us, or today, they will say to us that they travel from overseas. They spend I don't know how much US dollars to travel to from overseas to be allocated their land. Let me make this point very clear. We do not call anyone from overseas. So we don't know where people are. We have a methodology how we've been engaging persons. But any number that we call, it's a local number. Am I clear? So nobody, for the listeners and potential persons, don't come saying that you travel and you spend so much money and you got to travel back. Because really our housing program is intended to address the people who are living here. That's the reality. And we're committing to, like in the other regions, that as part of the opening up of new lands for agriculture purpose, so will be availability for housing. Because hand in hand, when you see new roads are being constructed in new areas, it's economic opportunities as well as investment for whether in government services in general or for further housing program. And here in Region 6, we have competing interests, and we have to be truthful about this too, because as part of the consolidation and concentration of the sugar industry, Region 6 plays a major role, and therefore the availability of lands in certain area becomes of a necessity. So the lands that we're now opening up, therefore, must not be taken for granted, since, as I said, we also need land for agriculture to diversify, so we won't depend on the traditional crops. We don't just depend on the oil and gas industry, but you have also seen, and that is why you have seen last year, a growth in the non-oil economy of over 13%. That is because of our direct investment by government to ensure that we can't give all the land to houses. You have to eat. Just now, when next hour from now, those who are waiting will say, Minister, I'm hungry, right? We have to eat. So it's equally important. That is why, led by President Ali, as part of the CARICOM initiative, you have seen an aggressive program that sees us building out for the agriculture sector that will see not just for Guyana, but for the Caribbean at large. So for those of you now, congratulations. Today you'll be allocated between the Providence and the Glasgow areas. These are new areas. And then, as I mentioned to you, the overwinning, I keep saying undernaming. The overwinning is the other area to come. So be rest assured, Barbicians, we have enough land available to address all of the pending applicants as we have committed. And my last comment is resort to another point I've been seeing frequently. We have persons who coming to say, I haven't been called, but I have, and let me quote, I've been applying, I've been reapplying, and I've applied more than once. You have people who come and say that. You don't apply more than once. You don't reapply. Once you apply one time and you issue that acknowledgement letter, the only thing you do after that is to update the information. Because if your income changes and it changes your status from whether it's a low, moderate, middle, high, well, you can't go higher than high. Once it changes your status, then we have advised you to bring your necessary information so that we can update the records. It helps us when we're allocating like today. Or if you change your telephone number, let us know. You can update that to the system so that when we call, we can get on to you. But we don't ask anybody to reapply. And your application is not completed unless you have an acknowledgement letter. Going online and apply without doing the interview and supplying the supporting documents is not completing the application process. So to our listeners, please don't post on social media after this, I apply so many times and I'm not getting through. Please don't go post what happened to Region 1, what happened to Region 2, what happened to Region 3, what happened to Region 4. We go in every region. Have that assurance from us. We have an aggressive program. In fact, we have maxed out the days, so they're currently reworking the next schedule for the month of May. That will see us in the other regions. And we have modified too, because last week, or the week before, what we did, and I like to address the issues as they arise. We must speak about it. It's okay. What we did, for the very first time, recognizing that we are clearing the backlog, so we're going up to December 31st, we opened the system, meaning for the persons who are coming. And therefore, when that happens, is also a recipe for excess numbers, because there's only literally so much the staff can do in a day. And the staff in general, they have been working overtime, weekends, continuously. We don't close for lunch hour. You know, yesterday, sometimes you hear comments. Yesterday, a staff was having their lunch probably at about 3. And, you know, some member of the public is commenting, what happened? I can't wait, you know, that kind of thing. Our offices, let me make this very point. Our offices, because of what we're doing today and continuously, are taking in, obviously, more activities. So there are more persons who are coming to the office. At any one day, I said this at the last outreach, at any one day, using the central ministry, there are about 300 persons coming for new applications, for queries, for certificate, for conveyance matters, for squatting issues, any one time, any day. So we have to work, therefore, with some sort of semblance of order. We are humans too. And that is why I've been working closely with the staff to ensure that we keep them going, because we have to also motivate them to keep the energy level high. So for example, today, you see the lights are on already. We're working to finish. We don't close off at 5. We may close at 5 for the gate because you have to address the people inside, but who are already here, we're working to finish, and that's how we work. So please, for the listeners, for other housing matters, and for you who are here, please exert some patience. It's a lot of work involved, but we are committed to this task. And the Ministry of Housing and Water, more directly the Central Housing and Planning Authority, is here to serve you. That's the mandate we have been given to ensure that we are able to deliver on the government's commitment. That's why when Annette Ferguson talked about dreams, and we are just nearing 50,000, we're not dealing with 50,000, we're passing that. Within the next 2 weeks or before 2 weeks, we'll pass 50,000. We're going way beyond that. So when we achieve our manifesto commitment, it is a signal to us we have achieved. We don't fold our arms and rock back. It means reward. I had a previous boss who said to me, the reward for good work or performance is more work. So as we are able to do more, so will more work be done. Finally, I want to close by saying to you, on the waterfront, please, please, please be patient. We have investments that are being done as I speak. In fact, over minimum about $3 billion on the water sector alone here in Region 6. To address, one, the access, two, to ensure that everyone eventually must get 24 hours water, and three, the treated water must come through your tap. That's the commitment we have given for the coastline. And so, for example, we have a plant that will be done at Adventure. That work is expected to be completed in 2026. That is about 5,000 customers. That's $2.2 billion investment. We have upgraded the New Amsterdam plant. That is expected to be completed somewhere around July of this year. We're talking about 5,000 more customers who are going to be affected. New Amsterdam, Vrijhead, Stanleyton, Smithfield, Togborg. For the Adventure plant, from 10 to number 50. Similarly, we have transmission lines that are going on that as committed for Betsy Ground Chair. So we have another 300 customers. By the end of June latest, another 50 million being invested. We have upgrade for the inline filters at Chesney, Edinburgh, number 609, Crabwood Creek, Joanne, and Mybe Curie. By the middle of this year, that will be completed. And then we have just received the necessary no objection for awarding of a contract for the drilling of a new well at Yakasari, Johanna, that will see for Blackbush, because there's always complaint at Blackbush, because we want to ensure the level of service is at a certain level for everyone. It will address in Blackbush to provide and conclude every complaint of water, another $300 million there. So you'll understand, therefore, and I can go on, you'll understand, therefore, you are coming in a time on this joyful day here in region number 6, on a blessed day, that you will also be leaving here enhanced with your allocation letters. Having said that, congratulations to all of you. All of you who have been vetted and received your allocation number will be addressed, so don't worry, they'll come to you, your turn will be addressed, they will move very swiftly after this. Have a God-blessed day.
Thank you, Honorable Minister Colin Crowell. Come on, put your hands together again for the minister. Thank you. Just a few words quickly that the minister spoke about, and you will agree with me that it is undeniable the development that we're seeing across the country, and that the government is people-centered. He spoke about generational wealth, and we're going to every single region. We have not just started this. From the time the government got into office, we've been going to every single region to ensure that the demand for the housing demand is fulfilled. I must tell you, the two agencies under the Ministry of Housing and Water, the Guyana Water Incorporated and the Central Housing and Planning Authority, has both been working very hard to make sure that we're expanding service. In the case of Guyana Water Inc., major investments to upgrade the transmission networks, water treatment plants, new wells, etc. And of course, we know the housing situation that ministers have just explained. Now, at this point in time, I'd like also to acknowledge the presence of the banks, as the minister said, and the insurance companies. It's very important you get information initially because you may need financing going forward. Please visit them before you leave. Additionally, Guyana Water Incorporated, they're there for existing issues you may have or for new service. At this point in time, to inform us as to how we will conduct the day, I'd like to invite the Regional Housing Officer, Ms. Dworka, to explain to us the process. And please make sure that we have an orderly, we conduct ourselves in an orderly manner. Everyone, as Minister said, will be addressed today, all right? Thank you. Please welcome them. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. All protocols observed. It's come to the exciting time of the program, and we'll first start with a demonstration of what you'll be doing today. I'd like to invite Mr. David Armagan, our chairman, to please stand. And I will call a few persons who will come to select their numbers from our envelope. So the first person is Clifford Williams or Yonette Williams. Can you please kindly come to the front? Let's give a round of applause when he pulls his number. Mr. Williams has pulled lot 291. I'm now inviting Ms. Tamika Crawford. Let's give her a round of applause. Lot 222, Plantation, Providence. I will now invite Ms. Natasha Narain. Ms. Narain has selected lot 262, Plantation, Providence. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will now invite Mr. Coupin. I will now invite Winslow Mackenzie or Desiree. I know our energy is short, but let's remember to give a round of applause. It's an exciting moment. $223, Providence. Tiola, Bristol. Tiola sound like she come with a cheering squad. She has selected 263, Plantation, Providence. The next person we're inviting is Tichelle Christian. Like we got borrow Tiola's cheering squad. Thank you, Mr. Coupin. I will now invite our Honorable Minister, Ms. Susan Rodriguez. Had selected 269, Plantation, Providence. Ms. Charlene Crandon. 35, Plantation, Providence. Godwin Orlando Kendall. Mr. Kendall has selected 283, Plantation, Providence. Miss Roberta Clements. Plantation, Providence. Judith Emmanuel. I hear only the front people clapping. All the back people like you're asleep. Plantation, Providence. Jagdish Jilal. Plantation, Providence. Thank you, Ms. Susan. I will now invite our Honorable Minister Colin Crowell to do the final 5. Shelley James. You see, Miss Shelley came with her cheering squad too. Plantation, Providence. Cleveland Cook. Cleveland Emmanuel Cook. Plantation, Providence. Elizabeth Hercel. Elizabeth Van Hercel. Elizabeth has selected 295, Plantation, Providence. Carson Alfred. I feel the cheering squad in this corner. Plantation, Providence. Elizabeth Pereira, and this is the final selection. Plantation, Providence. Thank you, Minister. So for everyone else, you would have seen the selection process, which is that you are pulling your lot number. I will just go through the remaining steps that you will need to take, which are necessary. I know it's a long day, and we're kindly asking you to please be patient. And every step, there's no shortcuts you would have to take in order to complete your allocation process today. So after you would have selected your lot number, it'll be followed by the recording of your allocation. Then you will be given a payment, the written of your payment voucher, which you would then proceed to our cashier, which is located upstairs of the State House building. You're using this first step entrance. followed by you will return with your receipts, which will be photocopied at the photocopy section that we have at the back, and after which you will be issued an allocation letter. That's your last step. However, after, we do have the survey department here, and if you would like to see where your lot is located, you can head over to the survey department and they will show you. For the remainder of now, you will just remain seated and we will call your name to start the allocation process. Just so you know, I know it might be a lot for you to listen and understand right now. We also have signs at the back that you can read, so you will see, and we also have people guiding you on the process. Thank you.